Beware of sovereign citizen scams. Don't fall for these legal myths. Scammers posing as sovereign citizens are spreading misinformation, claiming people can avoid laws and taxes, but these myths don't hold up in court, and following them can lead to serious legal consequences, including jail time. In this video, we dive into the myths and lies, why they don't work, and how you can avoid falling victim to these scams. Don't let someone's bad advice ruin your life.
What's up, family? How y'all doing? Now look, lately I've been looking around, right? Because I've been going on YouTube and I've been looking at these videos, and the car industry is crazy. Like, the banks is treating like the debtors like pawns. So I'm looking on YouTube, right? And it's something called a bank auto auction, a bank repossession auction. So all the cars that banks snatch from like the debtor, they auction it off to dealers. And what the dealers do is, after they purchase the vehicles, the banks finance it, for another debtor. And the cycle continues. It's like the banks nowadays, their whole entire agenda is this, right? Say, for instance, say if you had a car note, $40,000. And now you had the car for 4 years and you paid $11,000 towards the vehicle. Now, say if you couldn't pay, within that 3-month span, they would take your car and say if you couldn't pay the money to reimburse or put the loan back to a current standard, they will put your car in the auction after 15 days of non-payment and sell it off. And I'd be looking at people like, damn, the banks is cold, because it's like, people are very hard working and they pledge their everything for this vehicle, and the banks will take the vehicle back from you. And after they take the vehicle back from you, it's like you put $11,000 in for nothing. And that same dealer or bank, after they sell it at the auction, once they finance it again, that whole thing start over. So that $40,000 car, say if it's a $30,000 car now, right? They're going to use that pledger as well. And once that person can't pay, they go, it's like the cycles just keep repeating itself. And I feel bad for a lot of people, because a lot of people nowadays, they look at money, cars, assets as if this is real money. It's not real money, y'all. The US dollar is not real money. It's all credit. And y'all using y'all real livelihoods to put up as collateral, to secure this loan. Y'all putting up y'all real social security numbers, not CPN numbers. Y'all not putting up EIN numbers. Y'all putting up y'all social security numbers. So this loan follow you everywhere you go. So that's why I try to teach people the method where I use an EIN number so I can operate in the private. I'm going on 4 months, no payment. But you want me to tell you what I did strategically? What I did strategically was, I never gave them an address. And also, the vehicle that I have, since I purchased it all the way out, there's no track on this. No track on my vehicle. And also, it's something called a skip tracing. Skip tracing is when a debtor trying to locate you through public records. But since you no longer use that number, which would be the EIN number, I switched over, got a whole new EIN number, and it got another auto loan under that. Now, some people look at it like, that sound kind of crazy. It don't sound kind of crazy. You got to understand what world you live in. A lot of people will show and promote, oh, you don't have to pay your bills, and people just jump head first, but they not, they not understanding the whole thing. Look, me not paying the car note saves a lot of money. Me not paying the mortgage saves a lot of money. So I can keep the money I was going to pay for the car note and keep it in my pocket. I don't have to worry about the banks no more. So that's why I'm trying to get people to understand that this shit is a game, and I want to play it. I want to play. I want to jump around in the balloons or jump around whatever, and I want to play the game that they are playing, because this is a commercial game. It's a game. They look at y'all lives like games. Like when people get a mortgage and you default on a mortgage after 10 years, they take the whole house. You just you just paid 10 years for nothing. That's why I try to teach everybody, since we're dealing with a credit-based system, you want to find the legal loopholes or legal ramifications where you can find a way to take the property and offset the debt, or you can have security on the debt. Like, say, for instance, when I first got this car, right, this around 22, right, around 2022, what I did was I filed a title bond on the vehicle before before they issued the title, and put the bank as the lien holder. So I already filed a bond on this car way before a lien holder was even recorded, right? That's what I did, number one. The second thing I done was make sure that when I bank with the banking institution, that I never put my real address. So a lot of you guys who have physical addresses, a lot of you guys who have like your P.O. box, put that as your address. Not the P.O. box. You have to get the address of the actual post office. And instead of putting P.O. box, you have to put unit and put the number of your P.O. box. And you have to say, this is where you live. So as long as that is taken care of, you will be all the way in the private. So when the dealer's trying to find you, they're like, damn, where this man go? But you got this on the one number. You got to understand it's the EIN that got this. Just like your social security number got it. Your social security number got it. But this the problem. They can take that social to court, right? When they take it to court, it's on public records. You can't put the EIN on public records. Even if you do, everywhere I apply for a loan, the auto loan for this one doesn't pops up because I put this under the EIN number. I never use the social security number at all. That's how you want to remain private at all times. And also, you don't want to be 100% liable for debt. So you always want to put this on a straw man number. And you can create another straw man number. So check this out. In the United States, it is legal for me to have as many numbers as I want. I can have as many EIN numbers as I want. I can have as many CPN numbers as I want. And also, I can have many bank accounts as I like. That's the name of the game, y'all. We got to learn how to play the credit game. Just play it. It's a game. Let's just play it, the game. Play the game for what it is, not what you want it to be. I have people call me, man, how can I discharge the car note? The banks got your real address. The banks have your real social security number. And you sign a promissory note stating that you will pay it. So even if they want to make a claim in court, they can make the claim. So you can have the vehicle, but the vehicle will run in your garage. And not only that, it's going to go on public records under that social security number. So wherever you go to apply for a house mortgage, it's always going to pop up. People got to think. You always got to think. You always got to think. You got to be ahead of the game. So me, this one EIN, I got a whole nother EIN number with a 700 credit score. And this old EIN number shot. And I'm finna take this off my credit and start all the way back over again. It's a game. That's why I want everybody to understand that credit is a damn game. And I will never take credit serious because the bank's giving you extension of credit, which is a game. You retrieving credit, which is a game. Everything is a game, y'all. Now, I'm not telling you do anything illegal in the sense of stealing something.
This sovereign citizen is trying to give you a one-way ticket to jail by defrauding banks. Sure, you can have an EIN, but that's meant for legitimate business purposes. Using it solely to get loans without intending to pay them back, that's the definition of fraud. He's giving out bad advice, like providing incorrect addresses and hiding behind an EIN to avoid identification. He even claims you can do this with home loans, but banks will always know where the property is, no matter what secondary address you list. Plus, you're still going to need a substantial down payment to secure a mortgage. If you follow this guy's advice, don't be surprised if you end up sharing a jail cell with him. It's beyond reckless to advertise this nonsense.
You can extend, the banks will extend credit to you based upon what's on your credit profile. So you have a lengthy credit profile, they will extend credit. Are you obligated to pay that credit? No. Is it a violation of law if you don't pay debt? No. Because not paying debt is not an arrestable offense. So I can go on right here on YouTube and say, I do not pay my debt. And nothing can happen to me because it's not illegal to not pay debt. But you want me to tell you the problem is? It's crazy when you find a loophole, when you find legal loopholes to get out of debt, or you find legal loopholes to not pay debt, or you find legal loopholes to get away from debt. Because now you start fanning out like, I could do this, I could do that. It's kind of like you sneaky, but at the same time you legit because you actually building a real credit profile. But at the same time, you placing all of your personal liabilities like the social security number, you putting that to the side. You putting your personal life to the side and you setting up straw man numbers. So that's what I thought of. So the EIN is a straw man number. The CPN number is a straw man number. So I get over on the banks just like that. So look at it like this. You got people out there, right, who commit crimes, right? They crack cards for $5,000. And that's a crime because you committing bank fraud. Or you got some people that might do a wire transfer, like hack people's account and send the money somewhere else. That's crime. That's a crime. But you got a guy like me that set up an EIN number, get a bank account, get almost a $70,000 auto loan from the bank, and I take the entire vehicle. And guess what? 0% liability. And it's not illegal.
Defrauding a bank using an EIN, employer identification number, without any intention of repaying the loan constitutes fraud, which is illegal under both federal and state laws. Here's a breakdown of how this is defined legally. 1. Fraudulent intent, fraud in legal terms, generally refers to the intentional deception or misrepresentation for personal gain, typically to obtain money or property. At both federal and state levels, the act of fraud is prosecuted when 3. Fraudulent use of an EIN. An EIN is issued by the IRS strictly for legitimate business activities. Using an EIN to misrepresent one's financial or personal identity with the intention to deceive lenders is also considered identity fraud, which is covered under several statutes like 18 U.S. Code, Paragraph 1028, identity fraud. It's illegal to use false information or an EIN to obscure true identity or financial history in a way that leads to financial gain under fraudulent pretenses. 4. False information, state laws. In addition to federal laws, states have their own statutes against fraud. For example, using a false address or fabricated personal details to secure loans can violate state criminal statutes on fraud and misrepresentation. Most states view fraudulent intent in banking matters as a serious offense with penalties including fines, restitution, and jail time. 5. Consequences of non-repayment. With fraudulent intent, not only does defaulting on the loan result in civil repercussions, like credit damage and collections, but if a bank determines that a person never intended to repay, they may pursue criminal charges for fraud. Both local and federal authorities are alerted in cases where fraud is suspected, and enforcement actions are pursued accordingly. Attempting to defraud a bank with an EIN and false information can lead to significant legal consequences on multiple levels.
It's not illegal at all. So once we start understanding credit is a game, we're going to have fun with it. You know, I'm going to show everybody how the game works. And I also got some new stuff to tell y'all, right? I found another credit union who actually just giving out $25,000 auto loans. Just $25,000 auto loan. And I'm actually trying to get me an investment truck because they send the wire. They send the right wire directly to the dealership, whoever you're trying to buy the car from. So, yeah, we're going to be on that next, y'all. Yeah, man, credit is a game. You know, for you guys who paying car notes, I'm sorry, man. You know, that a lot of people ain't caught on to this soon. A lot of you guys pay $30,000, $40,000, and this is y'all hard-earned money. This is hard-earned money that y'all are paying. And you got a guy like me out here driving a 2022, and they can't even fad me, and I got this under the straw man number. And it's not illegal. It's not.
When a person knowingly lies, misleads, or hides information with the intent to deceive and secure benefits unlawfully. 2. Bank fraud. Federal law. The federal statute. 18 U.S. Code, Paragraph 1344, directly addresses bank fraud, which is defined as attempting to knowingly execute or attempt to execute a scheme or artifice to defraud a financial institution. If someone takes out a loan using an EIN and has no intention of repaying, they're essentially committing bank fraud under federal law, as the action involves misleading the bank to secure money or assets. Violators face up to 30 years in prison and fines up to $1,000. In conclusion, don't be fooled by this sovereign citizen's advice. It's illegal on both federal and state levels. What he's promoting is bank fraud by misusing an EIN to hide his identity and dodge loan payments. If you follow his lead, sooner or later the authorities will piece it all together and he'll be facing serious jail time, along with anyone else who buys into his reckless criminal advice.